Hi everybody, it's Kate. Today I'm talking about another movie, and that movie is What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes and Colin Firth. Not his love interest, by the way. Way too old. Girl and dad. So I loved this movie when I was younger. I was like, this movie 8. I think it was my favorite Amanda Bynes film. And then I recently watched it and I was like, okay, it's still good. So let's get straight into it. So our main character, her name is Daphne. Her and her mom, Libby, live in New York. Every year, Daphne wishes that her dad will come and see her because her dad is this guy in Parliament and is super English fancy guy. Libby always told her daughter the story where it's oh yeah, we fell in love while we were traveling and then we traveled around, blah 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 blah. And then it's we can't be together because he is a lord and she doesn't want that life. And we later find out that someone had told her to go. So yeah, his advisor, who was also the advisor of his dad, was oh yeah, by the way, Henry, Libby fell in love with someone else and that's why she's leaving. So it wasn't, he's oh, I'm not going to chase after her because she fell in love with someone else. While Libby leaves and is he didn't even follow me. Henry is getting married to the advisor's daughter. She just wants power. That's kind of all she wants. That's what the dad wants. Whatever. Glynis has a daughter named Clarissa, and she's think of an evil stepsister from Cinderella. Daphne goes and runs off to London to meet her dad, and while she's staying at a hotel, she meets this guy named Ian. He works a ton of odd jobs, but he's also in a band, so he's cool. He's kind of like if every Clash member clashed together. He's wanting to get to know her, whatever, and she's I'm just here to see my dad. So she breaks into the palace. It's not a palace, it's just a big estate. She climbs over the wall and runs around, and then he thinks she's from the press, so he's what are you doing here? Who sent you? Why are you song? And she's I already have a picture of you and a birth certificate. You're my dad. And then then Glynis is no, she's not. She's a lie. She's an imposter. And he's you're my daughter. Henry, the dad, his mother, is super sweet and becomes the best grandma and is that stupid bitch who my son is marrying. Not that intense, but you can kind of tell that's what's under the surface. But she's I really like you and I want you to stay. So she's okay, I'll stay in the house. And because they have a ton of friggin' bedrooms because it's the biggest friggin' mansion. So then they're okay, we're gonna go to this super fancy fashion show later. Do you want to come with us as my daughter? And she's okay, her. And the mean stepsister named Clarissa is oh yeah, you're wear whatever you want. Wear a big statement piece. And her statement piece is jeans, a tank top, a jacket, and a blue hat. It's so funny because it's this is not a statement piece, girl. This is I am putting the clothes that are dirty so I can paint my room or whatever. She goes in the wrong way and she actually ends up on the stage and does a whole fashion show, but a few of the men from the socialite circles who are also teenagers, so it's not creepy, are and Clarissa's jealous. She's oh, excuse me, I was supposed to court him or whatever the hell they do in this freaking country. He's kind of embarrassed of his daughter, but it's mainly just Glynis who's embarrassed and is pushing Henry to be you have to do something, this is embarrassing. He's yeah, I want her to stay for the summer. So then they go to this ball thing. It's a party for two of the other socialite teenagers, and she wears the most stunning dress, and she outshines everybody. It's this gorgeous blue silky dress. Gorgina. Every time she dresses up in one of her movies, I'm she ate so hard. Whoever's the costume designer specifically for older Amanda Bynes movies eats every time. It could be Amanda Bynes. So then she dances with one of the socialite guys, and he's whenever she's walking down the stairs, he's yummy.
Yummy.
And then they dance, and he's all the ladies love me. Don't you love me too, girl? And she's no. And the guy who is playing the music is Ian from earlier, so she's hey babe. And they chit chat and talk and stuff. So then her and Ian, this is later on, she's having a good time in the freaking castle. It's not a castle, in the house. She and Ian go out on a date and they explore London, and it's one of those montages where it's they do dances and try on clothes. They have 2 of these in this movie, and I was it's a little excessive. I love myself a little dress up montage, but it's not even for a fancy outing. It's just them having fun. So I'm there needs to be a point to this. But there's really not. Another amazing scene is there's this ball. There's another outdoor ball. There are so many things they go to, and I don't know what any of them are. So, like, they go to this outdoor thing with all these, like, socialites and stuff, and she and the guy who's been hitting on her this whole friggin' movie, she pushes him into like the river because he's like not getting a hint, and I was like, okay, hey. But then her dad comes in and is like, oh my gosh, so he quickly runs, grabs her, and is like dragging her away because the paparazzi are there, and he's like about to be reelected, or he's trying to get elected for prime minister, so he needs like the best record possible. Ian is there because he does like a ton of odd jobs, so he's like working like valet, and then they're like, we need your motorcycle because he has a motorcycle, and so the two of them drive off in the motorcycle, which I think would cause more of a commotion than someone pushing someone else into a pool, or I guess a lake, river, aisle. Henry, the dad, and her ride around, and then they do another montage, which feels like they just did one, about, like, them, like, doing, he, like, gets, like, a temporary tattoo, and, like, she, like, does dances, and he dances, and it's whatever, but I'm like, we just got a full-on montage of, like, from the exact same place. We don't need, like, a take two, girl. So, like, after this, his polling numbers are kind of down because they're like, we don't want, our prime minister to be this, like, crazy guy who drives around on a moped. So then he's, like, trying to convince his daughter, like, hey, can you chill out and just be, like, more, like, how, like, you need to be, like, more like one of us. He says it in, like, a kind way, but it's, like, you're an asshole. So she does, though. Like, she's like, okay. So Ian breaks up with her. So, like, Ian is, like, stops hanging out with her because, like, she keeps, like, forgetting to, like, hang out with him, and is, like, super posh, and is, like, not like that. She's not, like, mogging on him, but she's, like, very much more prim and proper. Fuck. Much more prim and proper now. And then her debutante ball is coming up. Her debutante party, so it's like she's becoming a woman, blah, 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 blah. And it's like kind of a way to like show that she's part of the family. And they're there, and she looks like stunning. Ian is also playing the music, so she's like, oh, crap, I really like him. And she's like, can we talk? And he's like, it's your party, you can do whatever you want. And it's like, it's a little sad, but like also like, girl, shut up. She is like the future prime minister's daughter. She can't be like messing around. She has a lot of stuff to do. Her mom comes. Like, her mom flies all the way from friggin' New York to support her. She looks gorgeous, and it's like, oh my gosh, hi. And then she dances with Henry. It's like, I missed you too. Like, love you lots. But they like don't say that. Daphne is like just wandering around, and she overhears Glynis talking to her dad, like Glynis's dad, the bad guy, and being like, oh yeah, I got rid of Libby, the mom, so like you were in line and we can't have this mess up. And she's like, what do you mean? Because like she overhears this, and Daphne's like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, what do you mean get rid of your mom and get rid of my mom and get rid of me? So it's like, ooh. So then Glynis grabs her and locks her in like a room, so she can't be out there whenever the queen comes, because the queen is coming apparently. Daddy Daughter Dance is coming up. Clarissa takes her place and they dance. And like while this is happening, the mom finds her and like lets her out and is like, oh my gosh, that girl friggin' locked me in here. And I would be like more pissed than her. Like, she's more so just like upset at the dad, which if anything I'd be like, your freaking new wife or your future next wife locked me in a room. And they go home, and then so like, I forgot to mention this, but like the mom and daughter work at like a wedding, like they work for like weddings. They get hired for weddings because the mom is a singer and the daughter works like catering. So she like, you know, is wait staff at like weddings and stuff. So then they're at one of the weddings, and she's performing like the song for the Daddy Daughter Dance. You see Henry, and he's like walking up to the wedding, which is like, how did you figure out that they were working this wedding? That's crazy, girl. Because he left because he found out that the mean guy, Guinness's dad, knew that Libby was pregnant and didn't tell Henry.
When I found out that that girl was pregnant, I knew I was doing the right thing.
You knew about Daphne?
Of course I knew. It's my job to know.
Yeah. So he like leaves, and he's like, I don't want to be prime minister. I don't want to be in parliament. I don't want to do any of these things. I hate you all. He doesn't say that, but he's like, I don't want this. My heart's not in it. And that's not me being honest. So then like he kind of breaks up with the woman because she's like, I don't want to be with you if you're not friggin' prime minister. So then he goes to America to see her, and then he does a Daddy Daughter Dance with Daphne, and then the mom comes over and is like, hi. So they start dancing, and then Ian had tagged along with Henry, and then they start dancing. And it's like, my life's pretty cool. And then it ends up that she goes to Cambridge so she can be near Ian. So happy ending. That's, by the way, the end of the movie. I love this movie so much. I really do like this movie. I love Amanda Bynes movies. Like, this era of movies, so like early 2000s, like kid-ish rom-coms, like family-friendly rom-coms, are some of my favorite style of movies. So fun and silly. But yeah, really liked it. I love this era of rom-com. I think it's one of my favorites. I think also just because I watched it when I was younger, so it's much more nostalgic for me than like any other era. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you don't, you are going to fly all the way to England and you are going to be humiliated in front of all of the press and paparazzi of all of the English people. Okay, bye!